Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, there you are. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's get some cards and coffee going real quick. No real plan for this morning. Put you right there. I'm gonna light this up and get some Palo Santo going and some sage. I got a little bit of dragon's blood here that I see sitting out, so I'm gonna throw some of that on here. Of course, on the package, they always say the instructions for these charcoal tabs is not to do this with your fingers. You should be using a pair of tongs. There we go. There goes the sparkles. Shut up a little bit. Alrighty. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope y'all having a beautiful day. Beautiful morning. We're getting ready to have a beautiful day or a beautiful morning. Had some fun yesterday. Took the kids swimming for a little bit. Got the Zen Den tomorrow. Got a big festival tomorrow. Well, not a big festival, actually. It's kind of small. Port Royal is a pretty small town. But it's a lot of fun. It's a very hippie-esque community. I love doing the stuff over there. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. Kind of bummed, though, because it was supposed to do it. We usually do the festival, the spring festival in March. And we had to do it in April this year because it was too windy and rainy. So they moved it to this month, to the end of this month, and they ended up overlapping right with the DNR fishing rodeo, which is something that I used to do with my kids every year. Used to do it with my sister and brother-in-law and them too, but they moved a million miles away. Absolutely ridiculous. To the freaking tundra. Really, just Illinois, but still, it's a little too far away from me. A little too freaking cold for me, too. I can't handle that shit. No, thank you. You're wrong. I like going up there and visiting and seeing the snow and going sledding for a day or two, but that's about all I got time for. Too cold, my joints hurt. Alrighty. Sage stick here. And then we'll get right into the cards. All right, let's see what the main messages are for this morning, for this Friday. Thank God it's Freya's Day. We were talking about that in the car this morning. They're like, Freya's Day? I was like, yeah, it's Freya's Day. And Monday is Moon's Day. Good morning, Miss Cat. Thank God it's Freya's Day. Tomorrow's Saturn's Day. Sun's Day is obviously Sun's Day. Monday is Moon's Day. Does anybody know what Tuesday is? I don't remember what Tuesday represents. I know Wednesday is Odin's Day. And Thursday is Thor's Day. Friday is Freya's Day. Ooh, we got Pisces. We got Mercury. And we got 6 this morning. We got the mail rune, we got the rings of communication, and we got the star card. All right, so 6, right? We always give that balance, that rite of passage. This is progress. This is nostalgia. This is generosity and giving. It's a balancing out of all those energies. We got the Pisces, the yin and yang, the 2 fish with their tails tied together, right? And we got Mercury, the messenger here. I don't know. Whenever I get Pisces, I always think of that, only dead fish go with the flow. And I don't understand that saying at all because fish travel with the tides. They come in with the tides to eat in the reeds and then they go out with the tides. So going with the flow is actually kind of what you're supposed to do, right? It rings of communication and connection there, right? Communication and building like that. We get the male rune here, masculine energy, irony. I just put the dragon's blood on there. That's one of the main masculine energies. Don't mind me. I don't have I need tissues at my desk. I've never had this problem before. That's gross. Use my hand sanitizer over here. All right, we get the star card. Oh, well, there's all my stuff. I don't let anybody touch my stuff anymore since COVID anyway. It's amazing how back in the day, that's how we used to do it, right? You would let somebody else shuffle your cards and split them into 3 piles, and then you would pick the pile. That's how I was taught how to do it anyway. Now we don't let anybody touch our cards. Yeah. Old English, Tuesdays was the day of twin, a Germanic god of war, sky, translation, Latin, the day of... You know what? When I said, one of the kids called that, they said it was Mars. They were like, what about Mars? Very cool. Very cool. So the Germanic god of war, Mars, the Roman god, Mars. Very cool. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I do. A bit much here going on. Let's see what we got going on. You are your own prisoner, right? We got you are your own prisoner. Even the seed of the tree of life had to be planted in darkness. As above, so below, as within, so without. Ooh, I got you're the type to have loose lips, show a gun, but don't shoot shit. You act hard, but don't do shit. Fuck you and your crew, bitch. A little bit vulgar this morning. The night we met, I knew I needed you so. Life's been good to me so far. The Encyclopedia Galactica on its chapter of love states that it is far too complicated to define. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy has this to say on the subject. Avoid, if at all possible. Alrighty, so definitely got that energy going on. When I came on, we had There You Go playing by Pink. Talking about that song's all about, there you go, talking about a guy just talking nonsense, just running his mouth, right? Playing games, needs a ride, all that other nonsense, right? And she's like, nah, man, moving on. Definitely that energy, summer energy. Oh, we got the lady here, the peasant and the pauper again. Yes, definitely a lot of focus on a lady. We'll go ahead and read that because I don't recognize some of these names in here, so you guys might not know the story of the lady card. It's mostly Cinderella. We got 29. Also brings in that number of 11. So the main story, the main energy today. Come here. Where are you? 29, the lady, the Ace of Swords or Ace of Air there. The lady, the woman, the feminine influence, the female partner, a soulmate. There are 2 versions of the lady. You can choose the princess or the peasant as you like. The lady is the quintessential feminine figure in the land of fairy tales. The princess needs her love match in all classic tales. She is the one who makes the hero yearn to be better. The feminist leaning aside. The lady represents the feminine side of life. Here, the princess wears a gown featuring purple. Her colors are associated with royalty. She dresses to influence those around her. She is not without her power of her own. The peasant lady we feature here is Cinderella. Remember that no matter if you are a lady, if our lady is a servant or a princess, her role in the tale is important. Her presence in the deck is straightforward. If the question is for a woman, this card is that woman. If it is for a man, she is the one in his life or the one he is looking for. Pay attention to her hands. Is she reaching for a particular card or what is she looking at? That card will be significant in any reading about love. So we've been getting that a lot lately, and there's been a lot of amp up in like the twin community and things like that and things coming into play, right? And that's just how it works, right? Because you go through winter and the feminine energy is sleeping during the winter and it wakes up in the spring. That's just how it rolls, right? She stirs, she wakes, she reaches out. I know we got the different hemispheres, but when it comes to like our personal solar system and our zodiac and stuff like that, it is the awakening of Aries, the first zodiac, the fire sign, and then we go into Taurus, which is more like steadfast and rolling with it, right? We've got obsession, right? We've got obsession. I'd say, I don't know, I get the that thing when I read that card too. There's this little clip of Steve Harvey where he talks about a lot of the male programming and stuff like that is in today's world and what is in a man's mind and things like that. And one of the things he talks about, he goes, a man will change for a woman, but he'll only change for one woman. So if you have a guy who's not changing for you, you're not his. You're not his. A real soulmate, your true partner who you're meant to be with, and here's your tsunami wake-up call. If you're meant to be with them, they will change. They will activate. If they're not activating, then you're not meant. If they're still doing the same exact thing they've been doing year in, year out, whatever, month in, month out, whatever that is for you, then that's not the person for you. That's just it, point blank, period. You know, and it's a hard realization to come into, man. You ain't got to tell me. If they don't activate, if they don't change, if they don't want to, and that's the thing, you can't make them. It's not a physical thing. It's not something that you can tell them they have to do. You can't say, I want you to do this, that, and the other thing. No, they will do it just naturally. It'll be effortless, right? That's what we talk about, right? Going with the flow. They'll just naturally want to. It'll come to them. You won't have to ask them to do the things that you like. They'll know. They'll want to. They'll want to learn you, want to know you, want to do these things for you, right? And it'll last. It'll be changes that they make that actually last, not just love bombing shit. Here am I. You know what? No, I'm going to use you today. I don't want to use you today. Switched up a little bit. Funny, though, that the lady came out on Freya's Day. I don't know. I've always said it. Like, my main role models for true soulmates is my grandparents, right? And I love their story more than anything. So my grandmother was dating this guy. My grandmother had a huge crush on my grandfather when she was 14. They all grew up in the Bronx, right? In the same part of the neighborhood. And she had a huge crush on my grandfather, and she was always trying to flirt with him. My grandfather is, I think, 2 or 3 years older than her. And he kept saying, come back when you're 16, come back when you're 18 type deal, right? Not exactly sure on the 8. I think it was 16 then. Anyway. Yeah, because they got married when she was 18. Yeah, he kept telling her to come back when she's older, right? And she ended up dating some other guy. And she broke up with him because he was a drunk. New York, this is way back. My grandparents are in their 80s, just to put that in perspective then. So the story goes, the night of their first date, right? The night of their first date, my grandmother was shit lit trashed on the New York subway, right? She was so trashed that she threw up on her clothes, threw them out, and came home in nothing but her long dress jacket, right? To which she had a date with my grandfather already set for that evening, but she had broken up with her boyfriend, got upset, got drunk, came home that way, right? So my great-grandmother, her mother, is like, you're not messing it up with this dude that you've been obsessed with all these years, right? You're not going to mess this up tonight. Tonight is, So she takes my grandmother and she throws her in the shower, and she makes her take a cold shower, and she gets her all dressed and ready to go, and she pretty much sends my grandmother out on her first date with my grandfather half lit, fresh off a breakup. And they went over to, and it was my grandmother. It was actually kind of sad because my Aunt Barbara died 2 years ago and her husband just died last week. It was my grandmother and her sister, and they went and got my Uncle Tony, and they went on a double date. And then they both married them. And then my Aunt Barbara moved to upstate New York, and my grandmother and my grandfather moved out onto Long Island. And yeah, they did all their holidays and stuff together, and they were together all this time. And my grandparents are still together, and it's still the longest relationship I have ever seen. And it's just little things like there was one day in particular when I talk about, things that, your soulmate will do. My grandmother suffers from severe anxiety and OCD and stuff like that. And there was one day where they had to chop down a tree or something, and they were bringing in a machine to do it. And she was tripping out that this machine was not going to fit in between her houses and that it was going to roll over her flowers, right? And she was so worried about her flowers being rolled over. My grandmother's big on her garden, right? That my grandfather went out there with all these little extra pots. He pulled up all her plants very carefully, put them into pots, put them onto the patio. The machine came in, didn't go anywhere near her garden. Cut down the tree, the machine left, and he went and put all her pots back out into her garden for her. And then later on that evening, we were out there having a little cookout and barbecuing or whatever. And yeah, after my grandfather does all this, after he cooks and grills and everything else in this whole big day, he sits down on the patio, and my grandmother just straight slips and flips her feet right into his lap. Some funny shit. And he just starts rubbing them, not even thinking about it. I love those two so much. It's just the way they roll. And my grandmother's super naggy, and my grandfather lost his hearing, which I find hysterical. It's all through growing up. When she got really naggy, you would catch him going like this and turning down his hearing aids. It was just fun stuff like that, man. He got really big in his 40s. He had 2 heart attacks, and my grandmother told him that he either got healthy or she was never going to sleep with him again. And guess what my grandfather did? He got healthy. He's healthier now in his 80s than he was in his 40s. He rides his bike 20 miles every other day. Why? Because he loves my grandmother that much. It's just it, point blank, period. All right, we have a Jack of Wands here at the bottom. Definitely that knight, that fire energy, right? The Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, male card. This is someone who's still guarded because it's a knight, though. There's a lot of illusions being broken right now on the 3D, all the way down to the 3D. A lot of illusions being broken right now. There's a rite of passage going on. This person's going through a lot. There's definitely this sense of being focused in the wrong direction and trying to focus on more on where your passions are. All right. On the 40 here, we got the moon reversed. There's still some things that are purposely being hidden over that 7 of Cups, right? I always talk about if it seems too good to be true, it is too good to be true. Like, definitely not so much as completely write it off, but try to put it in a realistic perspective. Understand where you're painting your own illusions over things. And there's definitely still some secrets that need to come out. There's definitely higher perspectives to be gained. I got a reversed Empress here, someone who's not coming off as very nurturing. For sure. I even almost get like maybe a depressed energy here. A worry about this Empress. Right, yeah. It's like overthink. I got a lot of overthinking up here. There's a lot of overthinking, and I feel like there's a lot of fear. And there's definitely, you got these 2 energies here at the end. And I like it. This is the masculine sitting on top of the Chariot here, being pulled in a strong direction. And then there's this feminine energy as the Fool card here, right? And I like how she's holding the crystal. There's over their geogrid and things like that. And it's like the universe is calling for this leap, but she's holding on to this stick there, right? And leaning out. And there's a lot of trust holding on to that stick, right? The way she's leaning over the edge of that cliff, she could so easily just fall and topple right into the pond. So I get a strong sense that there's a hesitation for a leap, but there's a strong pull pulling these two energies together. Right? There's a lot of worry over third-party situations, right? Look at this battle going on behind him, which is could be a lot that's playing on this divine feminine and whatever is going on in this storyline here, right? We definitely got that double energy card of moving on from one situation, moving into another. And there's always that little bit of a battle of those energies. Now, this is on the 5D. I tell you guys this all the time. The 5D is a little bit different. You think about it, you know, you talk about, how do I explain the 5D energies, right? So it's like you got what's going on the 3D, and that's what's actually happening in the physical reality. But what's happening on the 5D is kind of like when, yeah, it's like gamers. It's like it's a bunch of gamers that are all plugged into the 3D. It's your higher selves plugged into the 3D, and there's definitely a battle of these energies going on, right? So there's definitely a battle of these energies going on, and that could be what's putting that lady into that reversed Empress there. There is definitely a huge victory here for the Magician. And now in this deck, the Magician is someone who's listening to the runes, listening to their guides, listening to their spirits guides, listening to their ancestors, right? Listening to the 5D. They're following all this energy and all this to manifest the timelines and the destiny that they're supposed to be on, right? We just talk about that Chariot cards being pulled by fate and fortune, destiny, that kind of energy going on. It's almost like what? I know I will, I accept that I'm going to win is kind of the energy is, right? I already know I got it up, right? There's definitely the feminine energy here, though. See, that's the masculine, right? We definitely got the feminine energy here in the 9 of Rods defensive stance right now, trying to protect her own energy while all the rest of this is going on, right? She sees this as a Queen of Swords. It's like, what? I've got to allow all these other energies to play out the way they're going to play out, right? I can see what's going on. I understand what's going on. But I understand also that I need to set up a healthy boundary of what I am going to accept and what I'm not going to accept in my life, right? That's the quintessential of the lady, the Cinderella, the peasant or the princess, right? You can accept that, right? It's a matter of choosing. And that's a big topic that's been up lately. It's like, you don't necessarily, and I don't know, you don't necessarily need to know what you want. You can allow that to be fluid, but definitely be clear with what you don't want. What I don't want disrespect. I don't want to live in garbage. I don't want to live with someone who doesn't take care of themselves. I don't want another child in my life. I want an actual partner in my life, right? That's the Queen of Swords right there, right? She's blunt. She's to the point. She's clear on, like, okay, I allow myself to be open to want new things, but I'm not going to accept less than what I fucking deserve and less than what I know that I want. And I'm not going to live depressed in my life because I'm going to settle for less than what it is that I deserve and what I want. Make sense? Makes sense? All right, let's get a little bit of clarifying on this timeline. 6 of Wands again. There is definitely clear victory going in. 2 of Wands here. There's a balance coming in, awaiting for a proper opportunity. The 5 of Pentacles was upright in the deck, but that was from the other day. But there's still this worry about money, about finance, about how they're going to make it work, right? That's why that's a 2 of Wands planning situation here, though. There's definitely clear victory for whatever is going on here, people. What do we got? It's the same exact spread as the other day. There's definitely this strong energy pulling here, right? There's Definitely some conflicts coming in. The conflicts are being caused by jealousy over other people not wanting other people to have the 10 of cups. What? I don't want you to be happy. I want to cause you conflicts. Why? Because I'm not a happy person, and misery loves fucking company. So you got to watch out for those people. You got to be able to maintain your own energy. That's definitely what it's calling for. Make sure you keep doing things that make you happy, right? Make sure you keep doing things that make you happy. Make sure you transmute that energy all the way down to the 3D. Plant those seeds of intentions. This is what I like to do. This is what I'm going to continue to do. Is it going to tower some things? Yes, it is going to tower some things. But anybody who's just causing you conflict to make you miserable, go ahead and let that tower fall on that relationship. You don't want to be in it anyway. That's the crack in the foundation. That's the crack in the foundation. That's the definition of super codependency. I can't stand it. I'm not happy and you're happy. I need you to be unhappy with me. That is some dangerous ass codependency. Let that fucking tower fall. Let those connections move away, right? Defend yourself, right? Stand in your own moral fortitude. Whatever your moral code is, stand firm in it and don't accept less than what you deserve. Respect what I deserve to be respected. I deserve to be listened to. I deserve to be able to be allowed to do things that make me happy as long as it's not hurting anybody else. Whatever floats your boat, as long as it's not sinking anybody else's, shouldn't be a problem to anyone. And anyone who has an issue with that, let them go. Let them go. Anybody who can't respect what it is, let them go. I get on this all the time too. People are so fucking entitled these days. It's like, okay, so if you go to another country, you learn their ways before you go out of respect. You don't act disrespectful. Same thing when you go to somebody's house. That's like if you go to somebody's house and they're like, I'm a shoes off type of person in my house. Then you take your shoes off when you go to their house. You don't walk in their house and go, well, I believe you should always keep your shoes on, and damn what you care about in your own space. Get rid of people like that. You don't need that kind of toxicity in your life. We got the 10 of Wands. Worry about your own burdens that you have to carry, right? Worry about your own burdens. Whenever the 10 of Wands comes up, I always say reprioritize your priority list, right? How many burdens are you carrying? Are they all your burdens? Think really hard on that. Are they all your burdens? Put them all down, lay them all out, reorganize how you're carrying them, because the 10 of Wands usually it shows a little bit of a struggle on carrying these things, right? Rebundle them up in a different way. Also, when you're redoing your priority list, I'd like you to take a little bit of a mental note on where you're putting yourself on that list. When you're writing down your priority list, when you're making a list of things to do, when you're making a list of things you want and things and everything else, when do you put yourself on that list? Are you putting it on the very bottom? Oh yeah, I want this. Oh yeah, out of everything we need, maybe you just need 30 minutes a day to read or paint or something for yourself. When was the last time you took a ritual bath? When was the last time you took care of just you? Did something nice for just you? I've talked about this before. Talked about it in the cord yesterday. There's been days where I've dropped the kids off at school and then gone to the beach all by myself. Or, gone and whatever. I'll go and eat by myself. I'll go get sushi and stuff by myself. There's time. You're allowed to do that. I don't know if any of y'all know that, but you are allowed to. You're allowed to put yourself on the priority list and treat yourself nicely. All right. Definitely got the 8 of Pentacles. Whatever you've been working on is starting to the ball is starting to roll, all right? You're getting ready to come into that harvest, right? You're ready to move into that definite. You get the 7 of Pentacles is reaping what you sow. That's kind of building into it. So if you've been planting positive intentions, that is becoming more set in stone type of deal. The 8 of Pentacles is you're starting to really see the momentum gaining in it. That 9 of Pentacles is, oh man, I'm almost effortlessly pulling this in. And then that leads to that 10 of Pentacles stabilized energy, right? All right. There's a big wake-up call coming for a lot of people. I feel with that tower going on, a lot of people putting their foot down and going, I refuse to accept disrespect anymore. So that tsunami coming in, right? Now, this is drawing obsession in two ways. One, people will be obsessed with you because of that independent energy is going to attract in attention. And the cutting off the old energy. And that's what that 3 of Swords was on that 5D, right? That's multiple people paying attention because you're attracting attention. When you light up, and I mean, that's what we came to do. You came to light up. You came to attract attention. Unfortunately, whether you like it or not, most of us don't. Most empaths don't like attention because the more people around, the harder it is to identify your own emotions. But that's what it's all been about. And the other thing is what? Okay, so you're a light worker or a light warrior or a light whatever. If you came to bring light, then you volunteered to go into the darkness. If you came to bring light, then you volunteered to go into the darkness. Nobody needs a candle lit in the middle of the day. You know, nobody needs the lights on during the day. You need light at night. Vision. Keep following your visions and your intuitions out there, guys, right? Keep following your vision and your intuition. Keep listening to yourself and your inner soul. You want to get one more from the deck of many things? Last little bit. Sometimes we love people so much that we must be numb to it, because if we actually felt how much we loved them, it would kill us. That doesn't make you a bad person. It just means your heart is too big. All right. Blessed be all those who walk these weird and winding paths with me. I love y'all. Y'all remember buttons and bells. You know, everybody appreciates a little bit of love back for all that we put out for y'all. And I'm going to be back as soon as I can. I promise I'm going to go hop over to the silver cord and do the personal messages for the coven. And yeah, then get on with my day. Y'all have a beautiful day.